You're going to come in here?
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Are we on?
Yes. Well, yes, I just saw it. Yeah, we're live. We're having some camera issues, so Doc is gonna come in here and take my spot, and I'm gonna go fix his. I'm not sure what's up with his camera, but he's got a good show coming, so be good.
All right. Well, let's start this show with some
Musical
musical
chairs.
chairs. Coming your way.
Okay. I'm gonna talk a little bit about mineral deficiencies today. Very exciting stuff. All right. Okay. You're good there.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that everybody's doing well. Looks like this one's working. I don't know what's going on with the camera back there. It's the same computer, but always hope this is going to be a good show. We're going to try to introduce something that we basically talk about every week, minerals, and because we talk about the basis of disease being a deficiency state, and Reams says, hey, all disease is mineral deficiency. So when you're looking at it, we try to get that understanding of where we're coming from and say, why look at minerals, or just looking at minerals from a different standpoint, like what kind of symptoms can you have from mineral deficiency? For those of you who don't know me, Dr. Misak, I'm a naturopathic doctor, I'm a pharmacist, and I try to teach a bioelectric quantum concept of the body. To let you, I mean, if we truly go in science, and science points towards the study of physics and mathematics. In mathematics, there's been one guy who actually explained the human body mathematically, Dr. Reams, and he was curing all types of things um, by explaining the composition of our body and the chemistry of our body and what constituted our body's ability to make energy, because that's what it is. And so I'm not Dr. Reams, but there are some attributes of what he taught and how to make it practical that you could do this from home without being a mathematical genius. So try to bring that and make it practical. That's what we want to talk a little bit about minerals today. As always, just want to invite the Holy Spirit, just God, to guide me and give me words. I love using the Bible app. Today it's from John 1:12. It says, yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. And that's just a promise to, to think of how much God loves us as people. And how it says, hey, how he would, if he provides for the birds, how much more is he going to provide for us? And how we go through this crazy aspect of life, and just deal with all of our trials and everything to learn perseverance and develop character, and that aspect leading to hope is just, you need hope when you have crap going on in your life. It really is essential. I don't know why my camera wasn't working on the other computer. It's the exact same. It says that it is working. I can't see a reason. It's um, Annie's trying to go back there and troubleshoot a little bit. I will need to. Well, she should have it up on this computer. I should be able to go onto the show and at least see the chat box. There we go. Marty, good morning. Leah, good morning. Pine Tree, good morning. Jackie and Marcia, good morning. So we don't have very many people. Apparently, when you turn around and you start at a couple minutes late, which we did today, apologize. And that's bottom line, is because troubleshooting. And here we have another error with our with the cameras. But when we're talking about minerals, there's a lot of aspects of when you're looking at uh, Reams said that all disease is a mineral deficiency. Bottom line, that's what it comes down to. And so, from a naturopathic perspective, you learn a lot of things about toxicities and all this environmental stuff, and so I can't sit there and deny what I've learned in naturopathic medicine to say that this is not true. However, when you turn around and you really break it down from what Reams taught, like, okay, I can see that when we're dealing with all of these illnesses that are associated with our body's inability to handle some toxin, whether that be from triclosan and all of these disinfecting hand soaps that we use, or whether that be from all the cosmetics and those phthalates and those dioxins and from plastics, or people, the environmental load that we have on us today from the world of chemistry around us is just amazing. Because if you take the fact that your largest organ of your body, your skin, and is absorbing things, including minerals, a high percentage of the minerals that you're supposed to need every day, and you look at what you're exposed to through what's on your food and what's in your food, and or what's not in your food, and what's in the water that you're bathing in, and I mean, there's a lot of environmental, factors that can play a role. Well, bottom line, your body's supposed to be this efficient machine that says, well, I get exposed to this, I'm going to process it and eliminate it because it's not part of health. Homeostatically, our body's as healthy as it can be based upon the environment that we're creating for it. And when our environment is given something that is potentially toxic to our environment, which I call excesses, we have excesses and we have deficiency. Then if your body can't process all the excesses, why? It doesn't have what it needs. There's a deficiency. And Reams just explained it from an energy perspective. Said those deficiencies come down to minerals, and he explained that calcium regulates all of them. And he put a lot of things in perspective in relation to calcium deficiency and how we are to get adequate forms of calcium, not just calcium, because you can take the wrong forms of calcium, it can kill you. But calcium regulates these type of things. So when we're looking at minerals, what type of signs can you have that say that you're minerally depleted? Think about it. Anything. Hormonal imbalances. We could talk about manganese or zinc. We could talk about poor detoxification. Again, a need for zinc or selenium or molybdenum. It helps with sulfite utilization, and a lot of skin disorders. We look at copper. Copper's involved with how well our body makes red blood cells, and it can help with fungal issues in the body and circulation disorders. And we look at lithium. Lithium is neuroprotective, protects the brain and mood and things like that. And one of my favorites was the work of Hans Neiper. The Curious Man was the book that he wrote. And he wrote about mineral cofactors, and he wrote that various forms like calcium orotate specifically helps with bone and bone cancer. And he found that when you gave lithium orotate with calcium orotate, people with bone cancers responded like immediately, like over 40% of them. He would see these bone cancers disappearing, or the aspartate form. So that's another thing. We could talk about mineral deficiencies, but what are the forms of minerals? Aspartates help to carry things across inside the membrane, whereas orotates help to carry things out to the membranes. You know, and so like there's only one source of calcium orotate in your diet. Does anybody know it? Probably not. I bet you our cook Chris knows it. But it's black olives, and Betty tells a story of her dad making her eat 7 black olives a day. As she grew up, she hated them, but now she's like she loves them. You know. So Diana, good morning. Red Label, good morning. Carolyn, good morning. You made it on time, Carolyn. Good. Sue, good morning. Kathy Bradley, morning from Kentucky. Thank you very much. Betty, good morning. Betty, I was just talking about you if you didn't hear it. So, the whole idea when we're looking at mineral deficiencies, most RBTI practitioners are just looking at calcium. Let's improve calcium utilization. Well, magnesium's needed for improving calcium utilization. If you have lead toxicity, that's a mineral. Hey, do we need it? No, not that I knowledge of. But, calcium and magnesium compete with lead to keep it from being absorbed. It can help with lead toxicity. I mean, minerals are just amazing. And the study of minerals, I am nowhere near where I want to be with the study of minerals. But I do like the aspects of, what Reams taught was that if your pH is outside of, if it's below 5.3 on your urine and above 7 point, I think it was 7.15, but I think most of the mineral range charts show like 7.3, then functionally you can't utilize minerals. Hey, I'm right where, I'm taking all these trace minerals and these colloidal minerals, and I'm eating sea salt because it's loaded with minerals, right? And but your pHs, if they're just too high or too low, you're going too fast or too slow, right? Too high, it's slower. Too That's the way Philip from Australia teaches. It's based on speed because that is dictating frequency. And so, and there is a chart in Dr. Badeau's book, and it shows like kind of like there's a term for that, Leonardo da Vinci, the man, where he's standing up, and they show him, and in da Vinci drew him in the aspects of angles and showing associations, with but you see that same kind of picture in Badeau's book, and he has a spiral, going to upward, and with a clockwise or a counterclockwise spin, with the vortexes leaving from the center of the body, showing how energy is moving. But the interesting thing about that is he's got pH. Well, he doesn't say it as pH, but it's listed at 6.4 right at the belly button, and then in the head is like over 7, and below the body is lower pHs, and then he's got minerals, noted on those areas, and that's where this mineral acceptance chart comes in. That if you're outside, we do know that Reams says, hey, if you're outside 5.3 to 7.3, somewhere in there, then your minerals just are not usable. Your body can't use them. It's the wrong frequency. They're not in tune. Everything is based upon frequency, vibration, resonance, the ability to accept those minerals. And so when you're looking, there is so much information out there on minerals. There are some basics, and so people say, well, what about, like, say, kidney stones? Like calcium citrate, most kidney stones are calcium orotate. Calcium citrate has been shown to prevent kidney stone formation. So minerals is where the true science needs to be. It's something that we all need to study. It's something that we need to just say, and Reams did some of that work for us. He turned around and, gave us a foundation of saying, hey, there's, 150,000 forms of calcium, and it breaks down into 7 groups, 6 of them you need every day. And here we started breaking down some foods and show you what they are. If you can eat, getting a source of all these calciums in your diet per day, it will help balance out your chemistry. And so Betty has taught that across the board, that food is your best medicine, and how to look at those attributes. And we turn around and we break it down into BC diet versus DE diet. If you fall into that 6.3 to 6.6 A range, it's a range, because your chemistry is fluctuating. So what range you're in dictates what foods you should eat most, at a higher percentage. It doesn't mean, hey, I've got a pH of 6.8, so that means I should only eat BC foods. No, because if you do, you'll probably, push your pH down below 6.3, and then you're going to be in the DE range. Oh my God, that's worse. That's farther away from A. Now I got to eat the DE foods. Whoa, now I'm swinging back up to the BC range. And what you do, people, is you test and observe. It's that simple. You test yourself consistently, and you learn your patterns because they're different than mine. I've had people learn that certain foods. I had Philip on, and he talked about a little bit of salmon at night does him wonders, and I've had, there's just various aspects of what certain foods will do for certain people. And it's because your chemistry reacts differently because it's what your chemistry needs, and it's where your chemistry is. If your chemistry is outside of a range that it's not accepting minerals, and you're in the, you got a pH of 5.3, and you're eating BC foods because those are the ones you crave, and you look at certain foods and you're eating more foods that have the forms of calcium, lactate and phosphates, and that are driving your pHs down even further, what are you doing for yourself? But they're healthy foods, right? Are they for you? So this is where the aspect of understanding chemistry does not mean you have to be a rocket science. Oh my God, Annie's trying to speak and it went great. Annie, you getting any making any headway there? You're muted anyway, also.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I muted myself so I can, I don't know, do this easier.
I don't know why that camera is off. We cannot figure that out. So anyway, let's see. Kathy Bradley, good morning. You said that. Betty, good morning. Please remember to click the like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you, Betty. Yeah, I mean, we have noticed, you heard me complaining weeks ago that we do these shows and we get, 50 new people joining our channel per month, if not more. But yet we couldn't get over 38 people on a show at live time at any one particular time. And since I complained about that, now it doesn't go over 28. We're at 26 right now. Drives me crazy. So, why is that, people? I don't get it. I had one guy that I had a consult with, and he said that he was on at 10 o'clock and kept checking every 5 minutes. And it was not until 10:35 that on my own channel that it actually showed that I was live. I'm like, you're kidding me. So he was on my channel looking for my live show, and it wasn't listed. I've had people say that they're not getting their notifications, and they say to be notified first. So this is driving me crazy. People, we are going to be switching to Rumble. What's the other one, Annie, that we were talking about? That Diver, or do you remember what the other name?
Oh, DLive. Yeah, I'm not sure what platform we're going to use yet. DLive might be a way to go, just because I think we can link people to that from multiple platforms. So we could exist on MeWe, you could exist everywhere and direct everybody to DLive. We'll see. I'm not sure how they interact with the other programs.
So we'll still record, we'll still be live, we'll still notify you. We'll post on, we'll record the videos and then we'll upload them to YouTube, so they're still on YouTube. But people, I have to believe there's censorship, or either that or I'm teaching something that's not worth listening to, because we have gone from hundreds, originally over thousands when I was on with Adel and 412 and on, that it's a right-sided show, and we'd have 1,000 to 3,000 views, and it was growing, and boom, it got cut off. And then now, if you go to look at any of those shows, they've all been erased. YouTube has wiped out Patriot Soapbox, and they wiped out all of Adel's private selection, in which I was included on that. So you will not see any of my old shows on there anymore, which is crazy. And so, but when we're talking about this, I was going to get out the ARM, the alphabetical reference manual. This is something that is available online, and you can find this. And it basically gives an outline where Reams turns around, and if he said the word such and such, they turn around and they put it in here to say, hey, this is what Reams said about that particular idea. Whether there's opium in here and motion sickness. So what did he say about that? And molecules and all this other stuff. So so minerals, as many different kinds of food as possible in order to get as many different forms as minerals possible. Some of the things. It says, rule, the greater the mineral content, the greater the energy. So, rule, the higher the sugar content of any vegetable or fruit, the higher the mineral content that's in there. So that's why Reams would test the bricks of the foods, and he taught how to agriculturally grow minerals dense foods. Food that is poor in quality, that it requires a higher amount of additives to keep it from rotting, is mineral deficient. If we have enough mineral content in our system, then we will not start to rot. These are comments that Reams made about minerals. The use of minerals with the meal, because that's when most of the gastric juices is working in your stomach, and the minerals are a little bit more difficult to break down into energy. So he said, hey, when you're taking your minerals, take them with meals. I actually have you and tell you to take a little bit of lemon with that, because of that dispersing aspects and that anionic nature to help you to break things down a little bit more effectively. I just highlighted some of my favorite aspects in here. Lack of minerals in your diet, the DNA and RNA factors somewhere in that cells begin to not give off enough energy. Wow. The DNA is not giving up enough energy. Well, let's talk about telomeres. Why I created that product, vitalometry. It's DNA not producing what it needs to because it's replicating in its minerally aspects. There's direct shows by what is her name? It does all the genetics in relation to genetic associations, and now they're going back and showing that bottom line, it's mineral associations is what they're finding. Trace amount of minerals. You have to have copper in regards to forming RNA and DNA. You have to have a trace amount of iodine. One of them is phosphorus, for example. Phosphorus is needed for you to form your RNA and DNA and healthy aspects of building good DNA. And what Reams taught is you have to have a bioavailable source of phosphate so you can build what you need, the nucleic acids, to build cells. Hey, that's DNA. And so why do we take Mencol? It's calcium phosphate. You need those phosphates. It helps with vitamin D utilization. It helps with RNA and DNA formation. And so you could turn around and here's let's see another thing. You get a lot of minerals out of the. Wait a minute, what is that? You get a lot of the minerals out of the air you breathe and of the ionization of the atmosphere around you. Reams is showing that the aspect of ionization, the electrical activity of what's in your air allows you to absorb and breathe in and take those minerals in through your lungs. And he showed that the lungs required more trace minerals than any other tissue in the body. The pH tells you you're getting the exact amount of mineral from the food you eat. Not energy, but mineral. That's from Reams. The pH tells you you're getting the exact amount of mineral from the food you eat. And the pH is dictating what food you should be eating because of which minerals are in them. That's where Betty teaches, look at your diet, what's your urine pH, which foods do you choose from to move it. And then she teaches you tricks. Hey, let's put a pinch of this and, let's add some baking soda to your wine or to your, let's add some baking powder. Let's add some molasses when you're cooking your vegetables into there to get some minerals out of that molasses, which is a dense mineral-containing food. And let's add it to when you're sautéing or boiling, and those vegetables will take up those mineral loads. You don't destroy the minerals with cooking. You destroy the vitamins with cooking. And that's one of the arguments with raw foodists. You're destroying all your nutrients. No, you're not. You can destroy some vitamins are temperature labile, meaning that the higher the temperature, you'll destroy a particular vitamin. You can't, and it's mostly B vitamins and stuff. So Reams did advocate having raw and doing juicing. I came across today. There was which one was that? It was one of the nutrients. I think it was zinc. Was specifically needed in order for you, like zinc. Insulin requires zinc. The immune system requires zinc. Zinc is critical for taste perception. Zinc is involved in the synthesis of cholesterol, proteins, and fat. So it regulates vitamin A release from the liver. That was it. And there are so many people that are vitamin A deficient. And Reams associated that with anemias and leukemias. And so you have to have zinc in order to have appropriate vitamin A utilization. The prostate and reproductive health requires zinc because it inhibits 5-alpha reductase of testosterone, and that's why people take these 5-alpha reductase inhibitors that have prostate inflammation. Yet zinc actually does that type of thing. So you turn around the molybdenum. I like molybdenum because it's for people with skin disorders and people who do not process sulfation. And there are a lot of people who have sulfation issues because all of this stuff goes back to the liver and how the body's processing stuff. And it's just amazing when you start looking at the therapeutics of of what some of these, like chromium is for sugar, and selenium is for the thyroid and conversion. Copper is needed for the, if you have a mental disorder, copper and vitamin C are needed for what's called dopamine hydroxylase, or beta hydroxylase. And so it's a conversion. So you actually are making your dopamine levels, and if you don't have adequate amounts, you're going to go loopy. You're not going to feel like getting up and moving. Yeah, it's another day. How many of you just don't have that pep? Let's go, man. Let's go do something. Minerals. It comes down to minerals. All right. Good morning, Jackie. Jin. Oh my God. Whenever I hear Jin, I just want to go. My sister had a little Lhasa Apso, and it broke her heart. She said she'd never get a dog because she had that dog for like 15 years, 14 years. And she's like, it's like burying a child. I wouldn't fully agree with that, but Jin was its name. Cute little dog. It was a Lhasa Apso, but his front teeth came up like this in the front. Had these two all the time. Let's see. So ridiculous in this censorship. Yes, it is. It's totally censored. We just get, completely moved back on how many views and everything that we're able to get during a show. And, so right now we reached 29 today, people. 29. Yeah. Almost got that 30 again. Crazy. Totally crazy, because a lot of people are coming back and watching the shows later, but after I complained it not getting to 40, now it doesn't reach 30. Is that just less people just wanting to watch what we have to say? Greetings and salutations. Oh, I like salutations. Less censorship, kind of fun there. I agree. The autoimmune disease, Epstein-Barr virus. Is there any supplements that can help with symptoms? Same friend is, well, okay. I mean, okay. What do I take? When you're looking at the aspects of viral, you have to go back to the environment. What changes the environment? Speed. No, that doesn't mean go snort up some speed up your nose, but it's the speed of what's going on. It's the frequency of where you are. It has to be in frequency. So you got to get your body in frequency. You got to change the environment. How do you change the environment? Minerals. Which one primarily? Calcium. How do you know which form of calcium? Based upon the speed. What's that? The pH, And so, what did I say that, Reams said is the aspects of the pH is telling you the utilization and the availability of your minerals. So, and which dictates your energy levels. So if you have these chronic viral issues, you've got a chronic mineral deficiency, and you have an imbalance in your body that is not allowing you to take in or utilize something. And so you have to fix that underlying deficiency. Iron iron is involved in everything from oxygen carrying capacity to, I saw it's involved with restless legs. It's, and we only think of iron deficiency in regards to when we've had too much bleeding, or something to that effect. So you've got to change the environment. I could turn around and say, yeah, let's give you, Epstein-Barr. Let's get you a nosode, a homeopathic to stimulate your body against it. Let's give you antivirals, andrographis and stillingia and olive leaf extract, or the like. There's a lot of, Stephen Buhner has probably, I think there's a book out there specifically on, antiviral aspects of herbs. And so take these antivirals, does that change things? Sure. They're naturopathic things have been shown to benefit, but Reams explained it from a mineral context, that certain minerals were available in certain herbs, or, and flavonoids, and different types of compounds that minerals are catalysts. They make everything happen in the body, and so if you change the environment, you're changing the body's ability to make it an inhospitable place for these microbes. I talk about energy and frequency and vibration. I have machines that you put on that elicit energy, frequency, and vibration. And what do? You know, according to Rife in the 1930s, they kill bugs. Let's kill microbes in the body by jumping on machines. Actually, don't jump on them. You'll break them. They can't stand the weight of somebody. You just set your feet on one of them. You hold another one. Stuff like that. You sit between big old coils on another, run a bunch of frequency and vibrations. I see these things with the people who do the electrical experiments in my office because it's free. I'm not going to charge you for that stuff. But I have seen some incredible things. And so if you have somebody who has a chronic autoimmune condition, yeah, you probably have some chronic viral issue. Viruses can't live unless they have a host. Make this host an inhospitable place for the environment by changing the environment, by repleting the minerals and giving the body what it needs. It's all about environment. Even Rife himself, said that a healthy person has a healthy pH. The only person who dictated what pHs ought to be ideal for the human body and biological systems was Dr. Kerry Reams. It all comes back and, but these people, Blavatsky and Rife, and the guy in Japan who discovered electrostatic energy affecting viral replication, it was in Science magazine in 1990 saying that it inhibited HIV virus. Wow, Science magazine produced something that said HIV is stopped by an electrical field in somebody, and you never heard anything of it from that point forward. Why? Oh my God, that's science. In 1990, we were having, I don't remember, Live Aid and all those other things, and supporting the aspects of HIV, and people, this stuff it's all connected. Let's see what else we have here. Betty should write another book. There you go, Betty. Get on the book. With today's depleted foods, it's imperative to add minerals. Yeah, totally. And taking minerals. You can't be healthy and not supplement because you're not going to get it from your food, even if you're buying organic. Because organic does not mean that it's minerally dense. Check the bricks. Hey, did you get that camera working? No idea.
Reinstalled and everything under the
We are down a camera on our computer, and it says it's working. So maybe Snowden's taking control. Yeah, he would help us. Yeah. Oh well. Let's see what else we have here. With today's depleted food, yes, Jenny, glad to make you smile. Yes, you do. Is copper deficiency hereditarily or possibly from vaccines? Copper is needed for making superoxide dismutase, an antioxidant. Copper is needed for the aspects of that dopamine beta hydroxylase and mood disorders. Copper is needed for circulation and the integrity of collagen getting utilized in the body. And so you can see people who have varicose veins and stuff can be copper deficient. People who are susceptible to yeast and molds can be copper deficient. But is it, are you getting it from DNA and heredity? I don't know. Based upon where you live and whether you're exposed to it and whether your body can accept it, can you have a genetic disorder? Reams suggested that genetic disorders were based in mineral issues in the first place. Him and Albright were showing in the 1940s that you could optimize DNA with minerals in plants. Why can't you do that in people? Still biological life, And so, but what happened was the people who funded research said, hey, we don't want to go research in that area. We want to go research on something that we can patent and make money with. Corrupt system, but go back and look at the history of how our colleges were founded and how grants were established. It's totally screwed up, people. I share on Facebook and Skype. Thank you very much, Marty. I agree. It's on my bucket list. Problem is the bucket is running over. Too many irons in the fire, Betty. Just pull out one at a time. Dinara, hello. How you been? I hope New York's treating you well with those nice restrictions you guys are having up there. Betty, please do. I would be in help of any way. I'm Jackie. You can help me write my book. Well, it's already done. I just got to get published. Pine Tree soon has chronic tonsil stones. He's supposed to have them out in the spring. Will colloidal silver gargle help? Previously read tubes as a baby with adenoids. Okay, so when you're having tonsillar stones, you're having precipitation. You're having minerals come out. You could have oxalate issues, which could be associated with you have oxalates, you have calcium oxalate stones. And that could be sometimes mold can directly play a role with how your body utilizes those oxalates. Again, that's where the Hans Neiper made associations with specific forms of minerals having specific effects on how they're mineral transporters, or what you transport across the membrane versus out of the membrane, or how like he showed that calcium 2 AEP prevents viruses from being able to go across the cell membrane. So you're worried about a person with Epstein-Barr, give them calcium 2 AEP, and give them one with every meal, and that will help with that viral load. Give them a NOSA, stimulate their body against it, but you have to change the environment. Bottom line, you got to measure the pH consistently. You got to learn the diet that's appropriate. And if you're not going to, then do it. A lot of RBTI practitioners do. Just keep popping the right supplements to try to push the chemistry where you need it to be. Because everybody's like, what can I take? What can I take? Can you just tell me what to take? I don't want to change my diet. That's too hard. Just tell me what to take. Is it safe for me to take it? If it's safe, I'll take it. But what do I take? Right? I mean, that's what we've been trained to think. It really, what happened to food as our medicine? Go to Adele Davis, I got some really good books back here. Where's Adele Davis? Over here. Let's Get Well by Adele Davis. A practical guide to renewed health through nutrition. How to eat, people. This is where books were actually books and teaching you how to do things. And naturopathic hydrotherapy, let's stimulate blood flow and circulation by how we get the blood where it needs to be. And then how do we strengthen the blood? We control our bricks. We look at the mineralization of what we're actually doing, and the oxygen carrying capacity by controlling what we're eating and what we're drinking. Are we drinking enough pure water, with shungite crystals in it? Or are we drinking enough lemon to stimulate that digestive aspect? What are we doing? Unfortunately, it's not what we take. It's a lifestyle. And it's not always an easy lifestyle. And it's not always the fun lifestyle, particularly when you're going out with friends and hanging out at breweries. Might see me at a couple of those. I really like a good draft porter, by the way. Let's see what else we have here. So chronic tonsil stones, you're having a mineral issue. Homeopathically, you can get a homeopath. Go get homeopathic pulsatilla. Homeopathic pulsatilla has historically been used, and homeopathic silica. Or you can get the cell salts. We talked about cell salts. Silica and nat sulf will help help the body to process and push those stones out. Homeopathic pulsatilla actually helps to push those stones out. But those stones are forming because of fluid densities and attraction of minerals to minerals, usually calcium, because it's the wrong form of calcium in the wrong place in the body. So you got fluid density. Look at the kid's conductivity and see if he's got a 1 to 10 ratio of his sugar to salts, and say, okay, where's all the salt coming from? You got to stop eating the chocolate covered pretzels. Not that he is, but there's always a connection. There's something that's triggering it off. Life is about cause and effect. It just works that way. So, that's where we got to start. I'm going to keep going back to the basics. test the numbers, learn the patterns, see what's happening. Adenoids being inflamed and swollen, as well as the tonsils, is a food allergy. What is the kid eating that he should not be eating or can't eat? Well, how do you know that? You either get tested. We've talked about electrodermal testing and EAV, electrically testing for electrical resistance, and that frequency associated with a food or chemical throws it out of balance. Dr. Reinhard Voll at one point was recognized for the Nobel Prize in Medicine until he started making associations that if you balance out energy and acupuncture points, people got better. All of a sudden, it became quackery. So you can use electrodermal testing to see if they're reacting to things. It's an electrical assessment, because what is the body? Well, matter. Einstein says matter is the same thing as energy. E equals mc squared. And Reams says, well, that E is heat or electric. And then when you start looking at it, we're generating heat. And when things split, it gives off an electrical boom. And all that energy is what we're doing, and how I'm sitting here talking to you and how you're sitting there watching me. It's energy. You are energy. It's all connected, people. So, but homeopathically, like I said, pulsatilla, cell salts, nat salt, and silica can help get those stones to move. Hydrotherapy techniques. When you're looking at alternating hot and cold towels, 3 minutes hot, 30 seconds cold, and do that 3 times, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, over about a 10, 15-minute period. And that'll drive blood flow to where it needs to be while you're on the right minerals to help to break those down, because some minerals inhibit other minerals. Nat sulf actually helps to process things out of the tissues, and silica does the same thing, helps the body to process things out. But silica also helps with remineralization of your bones. Silica is a needed nutrient for osteoporosis, and great. I mean, go look at the Diatomaceous Earth Facebook page, and just check that out, because Diatomaceous Earth, people, great source of silica, a lot of benefits, particularly even with parasites. And Reams had us doing K-Men for that. So let's see what else we have. The tonsils are placed in our bodies to let us know when an overabundance of toxicity is present. When the tonsils are removed, you remove the gauge that lets you know that help is needed. Yeah, I mean, any symptom you have is a gauge. And the tonsils are reacting up here to things in the sinuses and things that you're eating. And so if they're swollen, it's an immune response. You're eating something that you shouldn't. Run the numbers and look for the pattern that you are eating something that you shouldn't eat, or get tested. Avoid those foods and look for cause and effect. Basic mechanism of natural medicine, and what changed my practice was electrodermal EAV testing. Because first off, avoid remove the obstacle to cure. Avoid the cause. I'm eating something that causes a chronic inflammation reaction, and I eat it every day because I love it. Oh my God, give me the chocolate, give me the wheat, give me the bread. Oh, I love my bread. I can't go without my bread. Well, then deal with your illness, because you're chronically triggering an immune response that is, the whole basis of disease is inflammation. How many of you have heard that before? So take more fish oils, right? Take more turmeric. Use frankincense essential oil. Use copaiba essential oil. They're wonderful. They work, people, but we can measure and understand why, and just stop the cause and change it. Get to the source of the problem. Let's see. My sister and I were kids. We had our tonsils taken out as a precaution. Oh my God, yeah, that was old school. I'm sorry. Can RBTI help someone with dementia, or is it already too late? I can't say RBTI can help somebody with anything. That would be saying that you are treating or preventing or curing. But I can say that if you get your chemistry correct, you can watch things get better on their own, because that's what the body does if you create the right environment. So if we have a definition of perfect health, and you can move your chemistry towards that ideal, any movement of that chemistry towards the ideal equates to an increased energy. What does it take for the body to restore? Does it take fish oils? Does it take multivitamins? Does it take CoQ10 and GABA to sleep and herbs to, to support and tonify those organ systems? No. It bottom line, you are matter, and that matter is energy. And it's how your body can generate the energy to restore, and how you can measure where the energy is imbalanced. RBTI can do that. It can tell you where the imbalances are and give you direction as to what you need to correct those imbalances. And then the question is your belief is, does the body heal and restore and repair itself? So in natural medicine, we do learn that you can have levels of degradation to where the body will break down, and it can only repair to a certain level once you get there. Reams suggested otherwise, but he also suggested X Factor said it could take a long time, because most people who are demented are elderly, and so they require more energy or energy for a longer period of time at a higher rate of energy in order to see that restoration process. So there are nutrients that are specific. Lithium. Oh my God, give that person lithium. 5 milligrams, maybe 10 of lithium orotate. That'll do wonders, and lithium orotate will also help with their bones. But lithium is neuroprotective. So rubidium has been shown for schizophrenic disorders and people who can't focus well. So when you're talking about minerals, you go back and you can sit here and make these associations where these minerals are the problem, and what's missing. But how do you identify what they are and where the inefficiency lies? That's what RBTI does. RBTI is, when you say RBTI, well, what the hell is that? Reams, biological theory of ionization. What the hell is that? It's a theory of ionization? What does that mean, right? So I teach it as bioelectric chemistry, okay? Because that's what it is. Ionization is an electrical concept of how the body is making itself, and the body is bio, life, electric, okay, and then energy, chemistry. And that's what it is. It's all a chemistry perspective. You change the chemistry, everything starts to follow behind. You increase the energy performance, everything starts to repair. The chemistry tells you, based upon pH and availability and symptoms, which is why I need to learn my minerals more effectively, because the more I do, the more I see that your symptom can be associated with a specific mineral deficiency that, hey, you've been outside this range for quite some time, and your particular chemistry needs this: rubidium, lithium, molybdenum, chromium, vanadium, trace minerals that are specific because you haven't had them in your diet. And now you have a sugar regulation disorder, or now you have a mental focus disorder, or now you have bone disorders and inability to calcify your bones. So therein lies a deficiency causing everything. And RBTI helps you to identify a reasonable way of how that deficiency occurred and how do I support to restore it. It's a system of measurement. So can it? I could turn around and I tell you, Betty could probably tell you some stories of all types of things that got better with RBTI. And it's still, I just think RBTI is a system of measurement that gives direction from an analytical perspective, So the theory of ionization is that you're electric in nature and that we can explain it mathematically. And mathematical efficiency, because math is a true science, is outlined as something of a perfect equation for human biological existence, for actually any biological existence, because I'm working with a dog right now And it's kind of ironic when you see animals improve by checking their numbers. You're like, you know what? Stop feeding them this. Give them a little bit of this. They need X, Y, and Z. Let's see what happens. Wow. They're not complaining. They're not limping. They're going up the steps. Biological life has specific energy requirements. And Reams explained them, and he teaches us how to measure it. And how, when the measurements are not right and the furthest away from the ideal, and those measurements, certain ratios of those measurements, this one in relation to this number speak to specific things occurring in the body, then now we know that, hey, there's something going on. So we got to look at that. I got to plug this computer in for the batteries going low. You guys are going to miss me. So let's see what else we have here. Marty D. Way off topic. I do it all the time, Marty. Don't think a thing about it. But is there any treatments that can be done for Dupuytren's contracture? Does drinking alcohol make it worse? Hell yeah, it makes it worse. Alcohol affects oxygen availability and completely displaces oxygen and decreases the ability of oxygen to get where it's needed, which is needed for everything. But a contracture, muscle contracture, what controls it? Calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, minerals. You have to correct the underlying mineral imbalances, and alcohol is affecting. You have to have, and what organ has the most impact on how correcting those imbalances within the body? The liver. What does the liver need? Calcium, oxygen, iodine, iron. Eat your greens. Have a green drink every other day. It's one of the things Reams would do. Vitamin A. Drink carrot juice every other day. Or cucumbers with the skin. That's a big one. Juice those cucumbers. Get that vitamin A. Especially if you're prone to anemia. Or prone to something in relation to skin or vision or anything. Vitamin A is crucial. And so we turn around, and when you're looking like, is there something to treat it? Hell yeah, you correct the mineral imbalance. You look at what causes the cell to be in a constant state of contraction is a mineral related issue. Because if you go look in any physiology text, Gangon, I think, Gangon is the official physiology textbook for medical schools. Go pull it up online, Gangon physiology or whatever, and look up muscle contraction. And it's all explained by electrical potentials by the movement of minerals. So it's not take this specific mineral, it's identify which one you need. And how do you do that? RBTI. A systematic analysis of utilization of energy in the body, and how that energy is being utilized steers to specific deficiencies that are in the body related to minerals and vitamins, because they work as cofactors in the ability of those things to be used, but it's mineral issues. So let's see what else we have here. Denara, why people love eating foods which is not good for them? Does it relate to a microbial level in the body? It can. It can relate to a microbial level, but more importantly, I think it relates to mood, and there's a lot of emotional ties, because 94% of serotonin production in your body happens in enterochromaffin cells. Enterochromaffin cells are copper in need as well, by the way. But enterochromaffin cells that are located in your digestive tract. So how many of us are mood eaters? Hey, something's going on and I just want that. And there's a lot of things that show that we can have cravings for things that give us a short-term satisfaction, but a long-term compromise and inflammatory component. So there's definitely something in relation to wanting things that are bad for us. But if you trace it back, Ream's going to turn around, because I've had so many people that you start giving minerals to, and they turn around and say, all my cravings go away. So there's usually some type of mineral deficiency, and you need, again, watch that pH, eat the foods, take the minerals or the additional C or vitamin D to help encourage that chemistry to speed up or slow down and get where you need it to be. Because when you hone in on those right pHs, you have increased efficiency of your body's exchange and restoring your personal mineral imbalances. Let's see. For example, I love tomatoes very much, but it's not good for me. I started to drink coffee, which I haven't drunk before. Yeah, and so that's going to mess with your minerals. Tomatoes are wonderful for potassium, but the acidity of tomatoes. Put a pinch of baking soda whenever you're doing tomatoes, tomato soup, or in your vegetable soups with tomatoes, and sometimes that won't mess you up as much, and you can tolerate things. It won't swing you as much with that, because whenever you eat a food that your body doesn't tolerate, boom, it drops that pH. In essence, the body's trying to speed up to say, hey, let me get rid of this crap. Let me let's get it out. And so you'll see that type of thing. What specific EDT testing device do you suggest for the food allergy testing? I use it used to be called BioMeridian. Now it's International Health Technologies, IHT, Intradermal. I like BioMeridian's system. The one from Germany starts with a K. I can't think of the name of it. Curlian. That's not Curlian photography. Kinlan something. I can't remember. That's supposedly a really good one. Electrodermal's done a lot in Germany. But in the United States, I think the International Health Technologies, which used to be BioMeridian, when I was looking at all the systems, I thought it was the best one, and that's what I bought almost 20 years ago. Same piece of device. I just got a new computer for it. Still works just as well as it ever did. Of course, they want me to upgrade so I can use their new little device for measuring, but once you learn how to do it, it's good. Sue Hodge, what are your thoughts on smartwatches and wireless earbuds affecting the electricity? Hell yeah, you're talking about electromagnetic fields. The EMF is nasty. And so think about, go look up where your triple warmer point is. And, from a Chinese medicine standpoint, because the Chinese identify, and that's what we do through electrodermal testing, is measure electrical points, which are acupuncture points, and how energy is moving through the body or not moving through the body. And so when you're look at where your triple warmer point is, and then look at how that can affect hormones and so many things in your body. And yet alone, you sit with a watch right on a spot that can electromagnetically disrupt how energy is moving through your whole body. I don't wear them. If you get a watch, get one of those self-winding ones that you sit there and as your wrist moves, it winds itself. The old, clicker things are the ones that you have to twist and tighten up the spring inside. Not even the ones that have the batteries in them, because, you're putting a battery, an electromagnetic field right on a primary meridian. If you're going to carry a watch, use the old pocket watch that hangs down if you're going to have one with a battery in it. EMF, I think we need to do a show on electromagnetic fields and talk about EMF and microwaves, and it's all energy, people, and what you're doing with it, and the frequencies of how that can mess with your energy. I could turn around and talk about music and solfeggio frequencies, and how music nowadays is tuned out of natural frequencies. And they changed the tuning of music from 432 to 440 hertz back in 1930s. Rockefeller instituted that, interestingly enough. And so when you change the tuning of music from a tone that resonates with the human mind frame or the human body, which is all the research. It's kind of funny. It happened when Blavatsky was showing his research in relation to resonance and human body giving frequencies to stimulate the body to heal. Well, music back then was tuned to 432 hertz, and so therefore that was part of the that would resonate with the human being. And the Beatles, if you go back and look, the Beatles used a lot of solfeggio based tunings with their music. And so some things is like, was the Beatle music great? Or did it just make people feel good because they had it in a tuning that people like, wow, I like this. Oh. So ask that girl what she wanted to be. See, come on. Anyway, would love to see a show on EMFs. EMFs would be a good show. Yes, Doc, EMFs would be great. Glad you guys like it. Um, I am going to have to tune off, people, because it's been another quick hour. And I don't know if we even got to, oh my God, we reached 39 concurrent viewers today. People must be checking later on. I'd love to know if people are finding that my show is not available again when they go to my channel, and then it appears after a certain amount of time. I found that quite ironic that one person said that they went to my channel every 5 minutes and it didn't appear till about 11:35. I thought that was like, are you kidding me? So, this is kind of weird. So, the Sunday night woo-woo guy on PSB read some documents on wireless earbuds, and it changes our cells. Yeah, I mean, you can look at any type of EMF. You're eliciting a non-natural frequency in close contact with the body. And if your body is frequency and vibration, if you want to understand the mysteries of the universe, you have to think in terms of frequency and vibration, right? That was Tesla, smartest man who ever walked on this planet. And he said there's magic in 396. And if you listen to Imagine by John Lennon and you put 396 hertz tone while playing it, it resonates through the music. The whole song is written in 396 hertz frequency tuning. And so, so if you have something, so like this thing right here, I got some type of, an EMF device on the back of it. I carry it in my back pocket, and as soon as I get in the car, it's off of me. As soon as I get in the office, it's off of me. As soon as I get in the house, it's off of me. I don't want that thing in contact with my body. I try to keep it at least a couple feet away, unless I'm doing things like my kids. Oh, excuse me, I gotta go. Thanks you. I hope you guys learned something. Almost so much fun. Thanks for the show. Many blessings to all of you. God be with you. And just enjoy the season as much as you can. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the show. Let people know that it's out there. Minerals, people. That's what we were talking about. You need them. And RBTI is going to help guide you. And when you start looking, what I would do is put your symptom in Google and see if Dr. Google says, say this and mineral deficiency, and then see if Dr. Google tells you what minerals are associated with your symptom. And then you can say, oh, do I need iron or vanadium or chromium or lithium or rubidium or molybdenum or potassium, calcium, magnesium. I mean, we could go down for, and start listing all these minerals out and see what makes sense. But as you start looking at that mineral acceptance chart, you start looking at what symptoms are missing, you might be able to say, maybe I'm just imbalanced and I'm not as crazy as I actually think I am. And that imbalance comes through my diet. And maybe I need to change my lifestyle instead of looking for what to take. So, thank you, people. It's been another hour. It's been fun. Until next time, take care. God bless you all. I am out of here. Take care.